Okay, this probably wore out on YouTube, but I'm gonna take you along real quick for this. I decided that I didn't like the way that my quarter deal was fitting, so I want to make a tram gauge so I could go off the front, because it's just me out here, and having just using this was not really getting me very accurate. So went out and bought 3/8 aluminum round rod. Bought it from Home Depot. This is 3 foot. I just cut it in half. Put points on the end. The way I did that, if you don't have I don't have a machine. So basically, stuck that in there and went to the grinder and just spun that. And then I came back over here and dressed it like this. And spun this and dressed it to where, not to a sharp point, but it comes to a point. Again, this is 3/8. So one problem I ran into, I bought this at Home Depot also. This is 750 thousandths or 3/4 of an inch box, or it'd be called square tube. So it comes in 6 foot lengths, which that was perfect. So I was like, all right, I'll be able to use that. The problem I ran into was my scrap. My scrap is 11 gauge, 1 inch 11 gauge. Well, the inside diameter of this is such that it's too small. It won't slide in freely. So I had to go back to the store and get this, and the guy gave me, this is 14 gauge. It's 1 inch by 1 inch tube, but it's 14 gauge. And you can see it slides in, but it's a little bit, it probably needs to be a little tighter than that. But what I'm gonna do is, which I already have over there, I've got these that'll tighten down on it, so it'll lock it into place. Hopefully that's the plan. If it doesn't work, I'll have to go get something else that's a little tighter, but you want to slip fit. So, but the 11 gauge is it's too fat in there. So I don't know what's in between 11 and 14, 12, I guess. 13, I don't know if they have every gauge or not, but anyway. So that's that. And then this was from Home Depot also. This is 1/2 inch by 36 inches long, and it's 1/16 of an inch thick. And that works out perfectly with this sliding inside there. So I've already got this cut, ready to go. I've got to weld the nuts on. And then I'll bring you back. But I just wanted to tell you what I've got here, because some of the other channels don't tell you the exact size that they used. And it's kind of a pain to find something that will slide in these. So if you know what this is, 16th wall, 1/2 inch tubing, you can get at Home Depot. And then this I bought from supermarket, or it's a metal mark supermarket store or whatever. So then I popped holes, 5/16 holes in both of these. What we're gonna do is just weld these on. And then these little knobs you can get also at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And so basically it'll go like that. And so you can tighten that down onto the rod. Here's your rod coming through. Well, I got a burr in there. We'll have to get that burr out of there. So anyway, it runs through like that, and it'll cross these basically, and that's for your tram pointers. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get those out of there. So I'll bring you back when I get welded up and together. All right, here's the gauge done. I'm gonna take it back apart and paint it. But this is how you use one of these. You adjust these out and in. I'm not trying to, assume you guys don't know what this is, but some guys won't. So, but basically go from hole to hole on each side and figure out how they're gonna fit. So I'm gonna be in the center of that hole. I know that side is correct, so I set this up off that side. I come back over here. So I find the center of this bolt hole, and I come back down to this one, and it's just a little bit off. See it? It won't quite just a little bit off. So I was pretty close, but wasn't just spot on. So, and then when you go to the other side, obviously you want to flip it like that to where the same, so the front's on the other side. All right, I'm gonna try this again. I'm having a hard time getting this GoPro to see what I want you guys to see. Some of the stuff is out of the frame a little bit when I'm talking about my tram gauge and everything. And you guys will see that as I edit the video, because I don't know what I'm looking at unless I'm staring at the phone, because I don't have a screen to see. So a lot of that, when I was measuring with my tram, it was out of the frame, so you couldn't see it, which irritates the crap out of me because I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. But I think you'll get the picture. So first off, you guys know I did the ADD thing on this. Well, there's a guy that sells these, and you can see this one's compared to mine is mini. But the guy machines these, and you can see the machine lines, and he does a really, really good job. And this is a flat level deal. And so I was wanting something like this as an anvil. I've been wanting an anvil for a long time. They're just too expensive. I think I paid $145 for this, which, man, I'll use this all the time. So, you know, it's a good flat surface. It's like a dolly. It's hardened steel. So what I'm doing is I'm making the extension piece, as you can see here, for this, and hopefully that's showing right. But, you know, I've used this anvil basically to make this piece. Get it in there right. I'm trying to get it as tight as possible so that I can TIG that in. You can kind of see there what I got going on. And literally I've just taken this and, you know, bent the piece over, bent this piece over. You can see I hammered on this a little bit, which it needs to be hammered a little bit more. If you got it's not very gradual crease and you need it to actually be sharper, you can come back in with your hammer, because there'll be a raise under here. There'll be an area under here that needs to be tapped down, and then I'll make that a sharper. Like this here, it's a little more sharp, a little more crisp. I still have a little bit of, let's see. That's pretty close. This needs to be bent more. Knock that. Just hold this down and flex it, or I could even take my hammer and get it straight. All right. No, still got to go more. But so another thing I need to do is, so as you can see here, just barely, I went ahead and put that. Again, I hope that's showing. I went ahead and put this back in the metal. I just used my bead roller there. It actually had one that was a perfect size for this to roll that down, so you can kind of see that how it kicks back now, where it was going straight up. So I have to make that into this, and it's already set up so I can do that. I'll have to mark this out. I may just go ahead and do that while I'm here. Just got to get it lined up right. And so I think it still needs to come up quite a bit more. That will actually bend it some, but I need it to be right there. I need it to come up at more of an angle. Let's see. I start the bend. I gotta start it right here. I hope that's right. Let me turn that over because I had to roll it in from the other side. So that's kind of nice. It's going to take a little bit more material off this to get that right in there like it needs to be. You see, that's pretty close. That looks pretty good. Sometimes I do a good job. Let's see. So when I rolled that, this is the crease line there. Make sure I got that just right. All right. Sorry about the TV in the background. My little girl's out here, so hope you like happy nappers. I know I do. All right, so let me double check. I'm gonna check that before I do it. Check twice and cut once type thing. So yeah, that went in there, and I kept that on the right hand side of the line. So let's see. And I'm pretty new at this thing here, so I'm still learning. So I need to be on the right side of the line of that right there. Let's do it. See how this works? It's got a little deal. Goes forward, you can reverse it, you can speed it up. I've got it pretty slow speed right here. I could probably cut a little bit of this off. It's probably gonna get in the way if I don't. That's also why I got that deep throat there, so I could do bigger stuff. That's a deep throat. All right. Yeah, this freaking anvil is awesome. I'll put a link in the description below for this guy. He sells them on Etsy. But yeah, shipped and everything, it was $145. So that's a hell of a deal to me, being this machine like that, because I don't have a machine shop to be able to do that. So I've got another anvil that's as long as that one, but to take it to a machine shop and have it done, I can imagine it would cost probably more than that. All right, so let me get my chair and sit down, get comfortable. You kind of get one shot at this. You need to really be able to see that line. All right, and you want to keep your fingers out of this because it would be bad if you don't. And it was, oh, was it the left? Dadgummit. Ay, 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 ay. So the line needs to be to the right. Line to the right. I think I was right, but I'm just gonna go straight through real quick. to get it to grab. It'll slip a little bit, but it'll finally go through. I gotta kind of force it through. Come on, baby. Go on in there. You gotta talk nice to it. That helps. There it is. Just like that. Now, hopefully that did what I wanted to do. I can go back again if it's not quite enough. But let's check it first. Yep, that'll work. I have to bend that. Obviously, I'm gonna have to bend this piece up. And this is just the piece, the small piece. I'm gonna weld this in and then cut it down to fit. I won't be using this whole piece. I'll probably be using a piece, well, about 1/4 inch, I think is what I measured up there yesterday. So, yeah, that's gonna work just fine. And I will bend that up a little bit more. Put the round back in it a little bit. Find your round spot. And I gotta come down just. Probably ought to be pushing on that, the round spot, if I'm trying to keep it round. Yeah, just come down more. Right in that area. See how that's up? What I was saying, there's a gap there. Hopefully you'll see that. You want to keep that line as crisp as possible. And just come in there and hammer on dolly. I watched a guy said, don't do this with your deal. He's like, you need to be able to feel. I think Sylvester's Customs went to a class, and I was watching the guy talk about that. I hadn't had that class, so I tried to start going by that because it looks like the guy is damn good at what he does. I'd love to take some of these classes, but I can't afford it. I think, man, I got $1,500 in a class, and I could spend that on something on my car, so. Looks like right there in the middle needs to come down just a tad. All right, we're gonna attempt to do some tacks on this. I've got it where I want it. So I put the tungsten in just a tad, and I'm gonna basically roll it up onto it using the cup. Put those little tacks in there. All right, there you can see it's a little cold, and then I got as I went across here, you can see right there in the middle, it started going real good, and I got in the flow. Then as I started turning the corner, I don't know if I got a little nervous or whatever, but it got a little cold again. And I think that's probably gonna be okay coming up. And then all the way, and I stopped there because I'm gonna bend that a little bit more like I was telling you about right on that edge. It's still just a little bit up. And then I'm gonna actually extend this patch out longer like we talked about yesterday. But anyway, I mean, whatever. I blew one hole, and I'm just getting used to it. So, but yeah, I think that'll grind out, and that's really, really flat. That probably won't even need any grinding. But yeah, if I could have got that the whole way. All right, so you can see the front of the weld here. Welded from the back side. This is the penetration, so it got pretty good penetration. And you can see where I blew the hole there or whatever. I think either that or that, one or the other. So. Metal is a lot straighter. I'll keep tweaking on that, grind it, and try to get it as perfected as possible for me. And I gotta finish hitting these, but and then I'm gonna weld this in here. Probably use TIG too. I'm gonna cut this piece right here off, and then just put take a piece of flat metal, sheet metal, and make me that patch for up there, or for here that goes up there. All right, see you guys. All right, gonna be it for today. You can see I got that made. It looks pretty good. It's got to come in, obviously it's got to be cut there and then spliced in, so it'll move back a little bit, which hopefully will take up that gap there. And it looks like my line might be just a tad low, which I can fix that as well. But made that look, and I left it a little long so I can obviously cut it down. So kind of more like that. The thing that I'm noticing is this goes in and stays round like that. Well, being that I made that part, welded it and did all the stuff, it's not in necessarily. It kind of comes out like this, whereas the other one comes in, which I'm not gonna split hairs. As long as I can get that back in there and make that look right, I think it looks pretty good. So, I mean, for just making a piece out of scrap metal. So what I'll probably do, and this does need to come down, but that's only because the metal's holding it up. So I'll come in here and cut me a slit through here, and then come back around the other side and run my saw down, and just run that saw right down this edge, and then cut that piece off that's left over, which will be actually quite a bit probably, and then weld it in. So got my tram set up, and it's right where it needs to be. And I don't know if I can do this one-handed. So that goes in that hole, and that goes in that hole. So there you go. So that worked out pretty nice, building that. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me tonight. We'll talk to you later.